Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a new topic that is called divisibility of numbers. Say we are given a number, a long number, and we are asked that whether that number is divisible by a particular number or not. So what would you do in that case? Generally, we would carry out the division method, which we know, but instead of carrying out that division method, we can, just by looking at the number or using some tricks, we can know whether that number is divisible by that particular number or not. So that's what we are going to discuss today in this video. How can we do that? So let us begin. So first is divisibility by 2. Say we are given a number. Is it divisible by 2 or not? How can we know that? Okay, let us see. Now a number is divisible by 2 if it has any of the digits 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 in its ones place. We know what is the place value. We have learned it in our earlier chapters. So if in the ones place value, if we see any number having 0 to any number which has digits such as 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8 in its ones place value, then that number is divisible by 2. Let us see an example. Say these numbers 230, 394, 562. So what is the thing that you have to see is that you have to see the ones place. Here you see in the ones place there is 0. Then in the ones place there is 4, there is 2, there is 6, there is 8. So obviously all these numbers will be divisible by 2 according to this rule. So clear? Now moving on. Next is divisibility by 3. So in order to be divisible by 3, a number has to be what? The sum of all the digits should be a multiple of 3. Let us see an example. Say we are given this number 16701. So what I have to do is, if it has to be divisible by 3, then we have to add all these digits 1 plus 6 plus 7 plus 0 plus 1. And after adding all this, if the resultant number is a multiple of 3, we got 15, which is obviously a multiple of 3. So then this number can be considered as a number which is divisible by 3. Now moving on. Next is divisibility by 4. Here what you have to do is that a number with 3 or more digits. Obviously in this chapter we'll be dealing with numbers which will be a larger number, not a very small number. If it is a very small number, say 2 digits, 3 digits or even up to 4 digits, we can clearly know is it divisible or not by any particular number. But say if it is a very large number, so in that case what I have to do is that in order to be divisible by 4, what I have to do is that the number formed by the last 2 digits, we have to see only the last 2 digits on the extreme right, not on the left, on the extreme right. We have to see those 2 numbers, 2 digits, sorry. So those 2 digits, that is in the ones place and in the tens place, we have to see that those 2 digits has to be divisible by 4. Only then we can say that the number is divisible by 4. Let us see one example. Say this number 58236. Here we have to just focus on this last 2 digits 3 and 6. So 36, obviously it is divisible by 4. We know if we divide it by 4 we get 9. So obviously this 36 is divisible by 4. It is on the extreme right. You have to check on the extreme right. So obviously this whole number is divisible by 4. Clear? Now next is divisibility by 5. Now for a number to be divisible by 5, what you have to see is that in the ones place, we have to check whether it is divisible by 0. Whether it has 0 or 5 in its ones place. Now you might be thinking this criteria is somewhat similar to 2, because also in 2 divisible by 2, we have seen that there has to be 0. Yes, it can have. There is no question about that. It can have. The same rule can apply in others also. So there is nothing to worry about. So in case of 5, the ones place value has to be either 0 or 5. So let us see one example. 1085, you can see in the ones place value there is 5. So obviously this number is divisible by 5. Now moving on, next is divisibility by 6. Say a number has to be divisible by 6, then it has to be both divisible by 2 and 3. That means what I have to do is that you have to check the rules for divisibility by 2 and divisibility by 3. If those two rules are valid for that number, then obviously that number is divisible by 6. Nothing to check. So this number is given. First of all, I have to see whether it is divisible by 2 or not. If it is true, then okay. Then again we have to check whether it is divisible by 3 or not. If both these conditions satisfies, then only we can say it is divisible by 6. It is divisible by 2 because in the ones place there is 4, and also the sum of all the digits of the number is a multiple of 3. So obviously it is divisible by 3 also. And since it is divisible by both 2 and 3, so it is divisible by 6. Now next, divisibility by 8. So here similar to, you can say, to that of the divisibility by 4, only the difference is that here you have to check the last 3 digits on the extreme right. The last 3 digits, either whether it is divisible by 8 or not. One example you can see, this is a very large number you can see. So the last 3 digits on the extreme right is 1, 6 and 4. So that is 164. So 164 is divisible by 8. We know that. So since it is divisible by 8, so this whole number is divisible by 8. Clear? It is similar to that of divisibility by 4. Now next is divisibility by 9. So in order that a number is divisible by 9, here it is again somewhat similar to divisibility by 3. What you have to do is that we have to take the sum of all the digits, and if that sum is a multiple, or you can say if it is divisible by 9, then only we can say that the number is divisible by 9. Say in this example it's a large number, so we have taken the sum of all the digits. After that we got 27. So 27 is obviously divisible by 9. So therefore this whole number is divisible by 9. Now next, divisibility by 10. Now here, in order to check the divisibility of 10, what you have to do is to see the ones place. In the ones place value, it should be 0. Nothing else. It should be 0. Only if it is 0, then only we can say it is divisible by 10. Say in this case 6530. In the ones place it is 0. So obviously it is divisible by 10. Now the last one, divisibility by 11. How can we check that a number is divisible by 11 or not? So in this case, what we have to do is that we have to take the difference between the sum of the digits at odd places from the right and the sum of the digits at even places from the right of the number, and then it should be either 0 or 11. So I know by this definition, or you can say by this what is written here, it might not be that much of clear. So let us go to the example. Say we are given this number. Now which is the odd place and even place? This, if we consider this is at the first place, right? From the right we will take, because it is written from the right. So the one first place, then this is second, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth. So if we consider this as first, so 1 is obviously an odd number, 3 is also an odd number, and 5 is also an odd number. So these places will be at the odd places, and the rest of the two, this 3 and 5, will be at the even places. So if you do the sum of the digits at odd places, that will be 8 plus 4 plus 7, it will be 19. And if you take the sum of the digits at even places, it will be 3 plus 5, that is 8. Now you have to do what? You have to take the difference of the odd places minus the even places, sum. So if you do the difference, we get 11. So obviously 11 is divisible by 11, or either it should be 0. Only in these two cases, either the resultant should be 11 or it should be 0, or you can say the resultant should be a multiple of 11. You can say, most proper to say that it is multiple of 11. If it is a multiple of 11, or if it is 0, then only we can say this number is divisible by 11. So we can say that this number is now divisible by 11. So I hope you all have understood it, the divisibility. It is also given in your textbook. Please go through it. So that's it for then in this video. Thank you and have a nice day.